Hello everyone and welcome to this final video on Introduction to Python for Beginners. In this video we'll be going over a couple of exercises which will test all of our concepts that we have learned in the previous 4 videos, such as comparison operators, conditional operators, for loop, while loop, what are strings, what are lists, how to deal with tuples, sets, and a bunch of other handy stuff that we went over in the past 4 lectures. So without further ado, let's get started. I will be coding along and going over the solutions of each and every one of these problems, but it is recommended that you guys pause the video, look at the problem and solve it first yourself. If you guys can do it, very well, but just in case you guys can, the reason I'm making this video is so that you guys can see how to solve this problem, just in case you guys get stuck. So yeah, let's begin. The first question, what is the power of 4? So when it comes to Python and we talk about power, we always denote power by using double asterisk signs. So it will be 8 double asterisk sign 4 and I get 4096. 4096 is my answer. The next question is, okay, we have to split the string and the string is hi there Mohit. Okay, so let's say if we have a string hi there Mohit, I'll just say s dot split and I get hi there Mohit. So yeah, that's how you split strings. Just in case if I wanted to split this entire string on the word there, I would just pass in the word there inside of my split function and I would get hi Mohit. So remember, by default, if you guys don't pass an argument inside of this split function, Python will split the string on the white spaces inside of the string that we are trying to split. Okay then, moving forward, given the variables planet and diameter, use dot format to print the following string. Okay, this is a question of print formatting. There are two ways to solve this problem. So one way of solving this problem is, I will say print f for print formatting, the diameter of Mars, oops, not Mars, I'll have to pass in the curly brackets of the planet I'm going to pass is the other argument, which is the length, kilometers. Yes, and over here I'll pass in my first argument, which is planet, second argument, which is diameter. Okay, I have to run this cell. Okay, I think I did run this cell. Yes, now it's running. I forgot to run this cell. So after running this cell and after running the statement over here, the diameter of planet is diameter kilometers. So we pass two arguments inside of our curly brackets. The other way of solving this problem was using the other notation for print formatting, which is we don't write the f before the apostrophe signs. We say the diameter of curly brackets is kilometers, and then we say dot format. And over here we pass in our arguments planet and diameter. We pass in our variables inside of the dot format statement, and this gives us the same result. So it's entirely up to you. Both of these methods are correct. It's just, which method suits you guys the most. Which method do you guys find more comfortable? Yeah, you can work with that. So moving forward, the next question is, given this list, this nested list, use indexing to grab the word hello. Okay, so we are supposed to grab the word hello from this list over here, and this is a case of nested lists. So when we talk about nested list, we remember that it's a list inside of a list, but in this case we have list inside of a list inside of a list, multiple nested lists. So okay, I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, 4, which is the second on the second index. Then this particular value is on the third index of the list variable. So let's see then. Just in case you guys confused on how to read nested lists, you can always experiment by passing in different indexes. So 0 is 1, index 1 is 2, index 3 is 3 and 4. Okay, index 3, yeah, so index 2 is 3 and 4, and index 3 is, yeah, that's how you guys can reach the correct list that you guys are looking for. Okay, so now that we found this list over here, let's count it again. So 5 is index, okay, let's see then. 5 is on index 0. This particular set of values is on index 1. Let's see then. 0 1. Yes, it was on index 1. Then this is 0, this is 1, and this is index 2. We get index 2. You guys can pretty much leave it like this, or you can pass in the statement again and you get hello. So why did I put 0 over here? Because hello was inside of a list in itself. I wanted to pick hello of, extract hello from that particular list. So yeah, this is how you guys work with nested lists. The next question is, given this nested dictionary, okay, this is the case of nested dictionaries in which we don't deal with indexing as much as we deal with key value pairs. So let's see then. Given this nested dictionary, grab the word OK. Be prepared, this will be annoying and tricky. Let's see then. So the first key that we have over here is K1. Is there any other key? No, there isn't any other key. And just like I said, just in case you guys get confused on how to see or how to judge this nested dictionary over here, and by judge I mean is if you guys get confused whether there is a second key or not, you can always experiment by passing in the first key. Okay, I have to run the statement, and now that I've passed in the first key, you can see the answer is all the way up to OK. All the way up to OK. So this goes to show that we have only one key inside of this dictionary. Okay, then moving forward. Now K1, D of K1 is a list. So this is index 0, index 1, index 2, and this is index 3. And what are we looking for? We are looking for the word OK. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Because of the fact we're dealing with the list, so I've reverted back to indexing. Let's look at index 3. Okay, then we're back to a dictionary again. So like I said, just in case you guys get confused on how many key value pairs are there, pass in the first index, pass in the first key, I might add, sorry. Now we have a list again. So this is on index 0, index 1, index 2, and this is index 3. Let's look at index 3. Now this is a bit confusing, but trust me, once you guys get the hang of it, once you guys invest a lot of time in Python programming, this just becomes second nature. We have a key again, target. Let's look at it. Now we have a list again, 0, 1, 2, 3, index 3, and we get the word OK. This might have been a bit confusing. I tried to explain it as well as I could, but trust me, it has to deal with more. It deals more with practice rather than any sort of explanation. So the more time you guys invest into programming, the better you get at it, the better you will get at understanding and interpreting lists and dictionaries, whether they're nested or not. So moving forward, the next question: what is the main difference between tuple and list? So the biggest difference is that tuples are immutable. Okay, in list you can remove, you can pop, you can append. The case with tuple is that once a tuple is defined, it's defined. That's the biggest difference between a tuple and a list. But this was a more of a theoretical question. So next question is, create a function that grabs the email website domain from a string in the form user@domain.com. So if a user passes in his email, we only get domain.com. Okay, let's see then. So this will be a case in which let's say a user passes in any let's say he says his email is .com. I will say I want to split this first, x.split, and when I split it, I want to split it on the @ variable, and now I want to pick the first index, and I get gmail.com. So yeah, this is how this is supposed to work, regardless of how big the name is. I get only gmail.com. So yeah, this is how this is supposed to work, and I will say return x.split at 1. If I run this, I get domain.com. If I pass in something else, anything randomly, I still get domain.com. So what I've done over here is that I've told Python that take any argument by the name of x and split it on the add variable, because emails always consist of the add variable. They always have it. Once you split the email or the add variable, you get a list which has two elements. The first element contains the name, or the username of the particular individual, and the second element is the website.com. So at gmail.com, at yahoo.com, at whatever the domain is.com, and we are looking for the first element, sorry, the second element. The first is just the name or the username, and the second element is the domain.com. So we are looking for the second element. So once you split it, you will tell Python that okay, now that you have two elements, just return the second element, or the which is on the first index, and I get gmail.com. Yeah, pretty easy, I believe. Okay, then the next question is, let me just remove this. Create a basic function that returns true if the word dog is contained in the input string. Okay. So let's say I have a string. This is a dog. And if I pass this inside of the statement, inside of a function, I should get true. So how can we do this? First, we will split our string, and it will give us all of the strings, but obviously in a list format. I'll say x equal to x dot split. I'm saying x is a list now. This is just an example. I'm trying to show you guys how the logic works. Now that I have my string in the form of a list, I can iterate over it. I'll say for items in x being a list now. For all of the items inside of this list, I want Python to check if the items is equal to dog, return true. Okay, then. So I'm telling Python that iterate over this list. If the dog element is inside of the list, if it's inside of the list, just return true. Okay, then apparently return outside of function. I think return works. Okay, let's say print true. Yeah, sorry, because of the fact that I'm not dealing with functions right now, I can't use return. I'll have to say print true. So yeah, this was the reason I can't use return outside of functions. So yeah, if the items is if the dog is in, okay, this is a cat, I won't get anything. But if I say dog, I get true. So let's do it here. How can we do this? We will say, we'll copy this code, but I'll just rather x dot split. I can copy paste it, but let me just type this out again. X if items dog so yeah, it's working now. Remember, we can only use return inside of functions. Sorry, I used over here, that's why it gave me an error. But yeah, this is working. If I change this to a cat, I don't get anything. So yeah, it's working. That's how we could tackle this problem. Okay, now we are supposed to create a function that counts the number of times the word dog occurs in a string. Okay, the word dog, pretty easy. So how can we do this? Let me just define this function, count dog, which takes in an argument x. I will say x is equal to x dot split. Okay, I'll say for, and I will define a new variable which is count, and it is 0. I will say for items in x, for items in x, if items is equal to dog, count is equal to count plus 1. Okay then, and I will say return count. So let's give this a try. Let's see if this works. Count dog is not defined. Okay, the C is, so it's working. So what have I done over here? I've used a for loop and a if loop. Obviously the if loop is inside of the for loop. So I've told Python that first of all, take the string that the user passes. Let me do this cell by cell, line by line. You guys will understand. I say my x variable is the statement over here. I first tell Python to split it, and once Python splits it, let me just define this like this. Once Python splits it, I get this dog runs, all of my strings separated by white spaces inside of a list, represented in a list format, separated by commas, all of my strings. So how many times is dog appearing? It's appearing 2 times, once over here and one over here. So I'll tell Python that okay, now iterate over for items in x. And what do you mean iterate? I'll say print items, you guys will understand. This dog run all of the items inside of my list. I told Python to iterate over them. The next is pretty straightforward. I told Python that for each and every item that it is iterating over, check if the item is equal to, if the string is equal to dog or not. If it is, increment the count variable that I've represented over here by 1. If not, just forget it. There is no else statement, there is no other condition. Python can ignore it. But if the items is equal to dog, count will be incremented by 1. And that is exactly what we've done. And that is exactly what we get. Just delete this. So if I were to make this dog again, I'll get 4 because dog is appearing 4 times. So yeah, you guys get the point. This is how this problem was going to be solved. The next question is use lambda expression and the filter function to filter out. Okay, this is a case of lambda and filter. We have a sequence. A sequence is a list of multiple strings such as salt, dog, sour, cat, great, and we are supposed to filter out those strings which start with the letter S. It's pretty simple. We use filter, the filter command. First we will define our condition, and using the lambda command it will be lambda x first, x being the string over here, the first element of that string should be S. This is my condition. This is what I'm telling Python, that if you're going to apply this filter, if you're going to apply this lambda expression onto the elements inside of sequence, this is the condition that you have to apply, that the first element x of 0 should be equal to S. And on which list am I going to apply this condition on? It will be sequence. The second argument is the list on which you want to apply the sequence on. I get this, then I'll wrap my filter command inside of the list command, and I get salt and sour. So this is pretty much it. Pretty easy, no problem at all. Okay, then now we are at the final problem. So the final problem is you're driving a little too fast and a police officer stops you. Write a function to return one of 3 possible results: no ticket, small ticket, or big ticket. If your speed is 60 or less, the result is no ticket. If speed is between 61 and 80, the result is small ticket. If speed is 81 or more, the result is big ticket. Unless it is your birthday, on your birthday your speed can be 5 higher in all cases. So it will be 65, 85. Yeah. So we will be given, some leniency by the police officer if it's our birthday. So yeah, let's do this then. First, I have defined a function over here, and I'm going to pass two, I'm going to pass 2 arguments over here, which is the speed and the is underscore birthday argument over here. So yeah, let's see then. If is underscore, so in the first case I'll say that if is underscore birthday. I'm telling Python that if it's the user's birthday, then what are you supposed to do? Another if statement. If speed, because of the fact that it's his birthday, we are going to get a leniency of 5. If your speed is 60 or less, if speed greater than, less than or equal to 65, print. Okay, I think I should yeah, print small ticket. Then I will use an elif statement because I have multiple conditions. Elif speed greater than or equal to 66 and less than equal to 85. Print. Okay, this was a small ticket, that was no ticket. This was no ticket. And this will be else. If it is 81 more, the result is big ticket. This will be 80. If speed is greater than or equal to 86, print big ticket. I will go over this code, just typing it down. Okay. I think this will be an else statement. Yes. So what I've told Python over here is that first check whether it's the user's birthday. If it's his birthday, then all of these conditions over here, 60 or less, 61 and 80 inclusive, 81 or more, will be incremented by 5 because the officer will give the, will give the driver some leniency because of the fact it's his birthday. So if the speed is less than or equal to 65, no ticket. If it's greater than or equal to 65 and less than or equal to 85, small ticket. Else, print big ticket. That makes sense. Else, if it's not his birthday, all of this code will be copied, but no increment of 5. Okay. Okay, I forgot to add speed over here. So should be speed. Okay, then it's working. So let's see then. Because of the fact, now that I've run a statement, I've told Python that okay, the user speed is 81 and it's his birthday. Now that it's his birthday, we will get small ticket. Why? Because, well, it's pretty much his birthday. But if it's not his birthday, then he gets a big ticket. And let's say speed is 62 and it's his birthday. He gets no ticket. Why? Because his speed is less than 65, so no ticket. But because it's not his birthday, let's say if it's not his birthday, the second line of code will run and he gets a small ticket because his speed is greater than 61 and less than 80. So yeah, this is how this statement, this problem was going to be solved. That's pretty much it for Introduction to Python for Beginners crash course. I hope you guys liked this series of tutorials and videos I've done. I'll be making more videos on Python libraries such as pandas, numpy, seaborn, matplotlib, and hopefully you guys are enjoying these videos I'm making. If you do, please subscribe to my channel. Feel free to leave a like, share this with your colleagues. I'll see you guys in the next video.